Minibus tout turns himself in after fatally stabbing Marvin Nurse at the Road 44 minibus park. The lifeless body of a prisoner was discovered hanging in a cell at the Better for Walking police station. Family suspects foul play. The COVID-19 task force may be monitoring businesses to ensure compliance with the COVID-19 gazetted measures this holiday season. In the region, U.S. COVID-19 cases surge, official warns omicron variant spreading, and internationally, thousands flee as Super Typhoon Rai batters southern Philippines. Greetings and welcome to another edition of Channel 2 Headline News Update. I am Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. A man is now dead and another is in police custody, pending charges after an argument escalated between the two at the Road 44 minibus park, Commerce Street, Georgetown, on Wednesday, December 15th. Dead is 30-year-old Marvin Nurse, a minibus conductor of Hazleton, East Coast, Demerara. Investigations reveal that around 11 a.m., Marvin Nurse and 27-year-old Paul Jr. Lynch of Bachelor's Adventure in the East Coast of Demerara were at the number 44 bus park when an argument ensued between the two. They began pelting each other with empty beer bottles and bricks before Lynch, who had a knife, stabbed Nurse to his left side chest. Nurse ran a short distance before falling to the ground while the suspect escaped in a minibus. Nurse was picked up and taken to the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, where he died while undergoing surgery. His body is presently at the Georgetown Public Hospital's mortuary awaiting a post-mortem examination. Shortly after a wanted bulletin was issued for Lynch, he surrendered to the police at Brickdam Police Station in the company of his lawyer. He remains in custody as investigations continue. Police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the death of a prisoner whose lifeless body was discovered hanging in a cell at the Better for Walking police station on Wednesday, December 15th. Dead is 25-year-old Julian Harrison, a maintenance worker of LBI East Coast Demerara. Harrison was arrested by the police earlier in the day as a suspect in a matter of break and enter and larceny, which is under investigation. Around 4:30 p.m., during a police inspection of the lockups, Harrison was discovered hanging from a metal bar vent by his jersey, which had been stripped into long pieces and then tied together. At the time, he was the only prisoner in the facility. Julian Harrison was taken to the Georgetown Public Hospital complex where he was pronounced dead on arrival. His body is at the Jerrick's funeral home awaiting a post-mortem examination. However, Harrison's wife, Lilauti Singh, told this newscast that she does not believe that her husband hung himself. The family claims that the dead man has marks of violence on his body and is seeking answers from the Guyana Police Force. A man from Prince William Street, Pleasance, East Coast, Demerara, was startled awake this morning by a loud explosion and the sight of his car engulfed in flames. Enquiries disclosed that 52-year-old Edward Taylor parked and secured his motor vehicle PSS 407 on the eastern side of Prince William Street facing north around 9 p.m. on December 15th and went into his home. On Thursday, December 16th, around 2:30 a.m., while in bed, he heard a loud explosion coming from the front of his yard. He got up and went to his window. There he saw his motor car engulfed in flames. The fire service was alerted. However, when the Campbellville Fire Service arrived on the scene, the motor car had already been completely gutted. Further inquiries are in progress. Stick around after the break. Ministry of Health recommends holiday shoppers to be properly vaccinated, and CDC distributes supplies to inhabitants of Region 2 who have recently been impacted by flooding.
Shop at John Lewis Styles in December and you could win one Amazon Fire tablet every day. Yes, every day. And that's not all. 4 persons will win $500,000 to spend in the store. Just imagine $500,000 to spend on clothing, footwear, watches, fragrances, handbags, luggage, and accessories. So shop now at John Lewis Styles to win one Amazon tablet every day and $500,000 to spend in the store. John Lewis Styles, simply different.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for do a surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and
Survival Shopping Complex brings to you its delivery service, Shop Through WhatsApp. This process is simple. All you need to do is call or message your grocery list to 613-9683 and we will select your items for you and have them delivered directly to you, even out of town. This is convenient because we can stay on the phone with you as we select your favorite brands. We're happy to do your shopping for you. Contact us on WhatsApp today and shop Price Smart at Survival Shopping Complex.
Home-based taxi service, transportation for every occasion. Short drop, airport, weddings, funerals, and much more. We're located at Lot H. Durbin and Vicingen Road, next to Green City Bar. For honest, efficient, and reliable service, call Kingdom-based taxi service at 648-5959 or 227-7937. You can count on us.
Welcome back. The Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, said that the administration of booster doses is incrementally increasing across Guyana. To date, the Ministry of Health has administered 7,270 booster doses of the COVID-19 vaccine. The program was rolled out in November and was initially targeting persons 50 years or older, people with comorbidities, and frontline workers. It has since been extended to persons 18 years and older who received the second dose of their vaccines 6 months ago. Additionally, the country's COVID-19 vaccination campaign has been positively progressing, with nearly 80% of its adult population receiving the first dose of the vaccine. However, with the holiday season here, citizens are encouraged to get vaccinated and follow the COVID-19 guidelines set out. Minister Anthony said the COVID-19 task force is also monitoring businesses to ensure compliance with the COVID-19 gazetted measures.
On a weekly basis, the task force would go out to do inspections of businesses, and over the last month, they would have written to more than 60 businesses, and in some instances, they shut them down temporarily because of repeated breaches of COVID guidelines. The task force will continue to do this during this season, and if persons are not compliant or if persons are repeat offenders, then certainly the task force will take the requisite action as it has been doing before.
To date, 79.4% of the adult population have received the first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, while 56.2% are fully inoculated. In terms of the 12 to 17 age group, 40.9% have received the first dose, while 28.9% are fully inoculated. Persons are still being encouraged to visit any one of the Ministry of Health's COVID-19 vaccination sites to receive their jabs. Heavy rainfalls and flooding have negatively impacted residents in the village of Karawab and St. Monica Region 2. On Wednesday, the Civil Defense Commission, in collaboration with the regional authorities of Pomeroon Supernam, under the instruction of the Cabinet Task Force, delivered 1,475 cleaning hampers, 18 food hampers for shelters, and 20,000 water purification tablets to flood-impacted residents. The CDC has dispatched several collapsible storage containers to assist those affected. 2 households were relocated to another location in Karawab due to the significant flooding. The health center at Wakapo village also received water purification tablets. 2 households were relocated and food hampers were given to the Tushals to distribute to those residents. The Regional Democratic Council also assisted with the distribution of cleaning hampers to people living in the area. In Kabukuburi, 6 families had to be relocated to the multipurpose center and will receive food hampers from their Tushals. The RDC delivered cleaning hampers to those residents as well. Farmers and farmlands remains inundated, especially those close to the Pomeroon River. The Commission is currently mobilizing additional resources such as medical kits, food and cleaning hampers, and collapsible storage units to be sent to the region. An assessment team is in Pomeroon to provide continuous updates. Don't go away after the break. US COVID-19 cases surge, officials warn Omicron variant spreading, and climate change and pesticides threaten Africa's honeybees. But before that, here's the bridge retraction schedule.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at news in the region and around the world. Cases in the United States are again rising rapidly as the Omicron strain of the coronavirus spreads, threatening to overwhelm hospitals already struggling with the Delta variant. Medical experts have warned those not yet inoculated should get the jab, as the Omicron could replace Delta as the dominant mutation in weeks. Al Jazeera's Kati Kulhan reports.
1 year ago, today, many Americans woke up with fresh hope. The first vaccines had been administered. For some, it seemed like the beginning of the end. But now, 1 year later, more people have died since the vaccine was available than before. 500,000 people, bringing the death toll in the U.S. to more than 800,000. And with the new Omicron variant that is more contagious, officials are warning that another spike in cases is coming, but mostly for the unvaccinated.
Our booster vaccine regimens work against Omicron. At this point, there is no need for a variant-specific booster.
It's gotten so bad in the state of Minnesota that hospitals took out this full-page ad, practically begging people to get vaccinated, writing, "We're heartbroken, we're overwhelmed." Dr. Kenneth Holman signed the letter.
They are disappointed, upset, angry, frustrated, saddened. You take the entire range of human emotion, and you will see it in our staff. And we have to remember to continue to care for our patients no matter where they come from, what their vaccination status is.
And the spike is having real-world consequences. Some universities are going back online. Sports games being postponed or canceled, as more than 100 professional basketball, football, and hockey players have been diagnosed with COVID. The U.S. Secretary of State had to return early from his trip to Asia after a reporter on his plane tested positive, leading officials to urge people to take precautions.
We should be having public indoor masking for everyone, vaccinated or unvaccinated. That is 90% of the counties right now.
But only 8 states have mandated masks indoors, and several states have outright banned requiring masks. More proof that in the U.S. the pandemic is still a political issue, one that is having deadly consequences. Patty Culhane, Al Jazeera, Washington.
Rescue efforts are underway in the Philippines after one of the most powerful storms in the world this year hit land. Al Jazeera's Jamelia Alindugan reports on the rescue efforts.
It is the most powerful storm to hit the Philippines this year. 100,000 people have already fled their homes. Typhoon Rai made landfall on Thursday and continues to batter the regions of Visayas and Mindanao. Coast Guards are rushing to evacuate hundreds of residents after incessant rains flooded their communities. Young and old, many are forced to leave their homes with only the clothes on their backs. Residents carry what they can, with many hoping any damage will be limited and they'll be able to return home soon. The Philippines is no stranger to natural disasters. It is constantly battered by storms and volcanic eruptions. Typhoon Haiyan in 2013 holds the record as the strongest anywhere in the world. It killed at least 7,000 people and displaced millions more. Since then, the government has institutionalized emergency and disaster response. But even in a country long affected by around 20 storms each year, Typhoon Rai comes at the most precarious time. Those evacuated can't stay in temporary shelters for too long because of COVID-19 restrictions, while those in coastal and farmland communities say they are already bearing the brunt of an economic recession and fear that the typhoon could obliterate whatever livelihood they have left. The Philippine government has pre-positioned aid and military as first responders across the country. But the typhoon is expected to impact so many provinces, it has warned local officials to prepare for the worst. Jamela Alindogan, Al Jazeera, Manila.
And finally, habitat destruction, climate change, and growing pesticide use are threatening Africa's honeybees, Al Jazeera's Malcolm Webb reports.
The avocado trees on James Warui's farm were underproducing by about a fifth. He says he didn't even know until he joined a research program here in Kenya. That's when he learned about pollination and about the crucial role of pollinating insects.
It's like having 100 cows, but only one bull. It can't handle all those cows. If you have avocado trees, but without enough pollinators, the flowers will be there, but minimal pollination will take place, so your produce will be reduced.
As part of the research project, James started keeping bees on his farm. When they're not visiting the avocado flowers, they're busy making honey, which James sells. Experts say the pollination shortfall shows there's something wrong, although keeping bees can help. Scientists say that the pollination gap has been effectively closed and that the avocado trees are now producing their maximum harvest. They're right next to the beehives. The researchers say that the bees themselves are facing some grave threats. A UN programme of spraying locusts that have plagued East Africa over the last 2 years, added to an already increasing use of chemical pesticides. Farmers use them to help meet growing populations' demand for food. Bees are also threatened by destruction of their natural habitats to make way for farmland and growing cities. Changing climate poses new threats. The scientists working here at Africa's leading insect research centre say there's a lack of data compared to other continents. Samples of pollen grains from beehives can help fill in some of the picture, as can samples of food crops. In them, they found pesticides that are banned in other continents and signs of overuse. They're also keeping and studying dozens of species of wild bees, which play a greater role in pollination but are more vulnerable than the bees that are kept to make honey. Scientist Michael Latour says the destruction of bees caused by intensive agriculture in Europe and the US could be avoided in Africa.
We would be able to learn from the mistakes that have been done before and use more agroecological approaches to sustain these ecosystem services and to have a sustainable production and also a sustainable increase in production. And I think there are lots of solutions. Many smallholder farmers are already practicing them.
James is one of them. The scientists say beekeeping on a farm can offset the destruction of natural pollinators, but protecting the rest of the ecosystem will take more. Malcolm Webb, Al Jazeera, Muranga, Kenya.
And that is it for today's regional and international news. Here now is your 3-day weather forecast. And that is all for this edition of Channel 2 Headline News Updates. Tune in on Friday at 5:30 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.